Hi everyone, my name is Rick, and this is iWatch.com on YouTube. And what I want to show you is I've made some videos on how to scale 3D parts, STLs, in slicer programs. And it's pretty easy. In this video, I want to show you how I would scale something in Fusion 360. And I've got the free version open here because I think a lot of people learning would probably be using the free version. Okay, so what I would do, you'd think you would just be able to, well, here's how I do it. I go to insert and I insert mesh because that's what a 3D model is called a mesh model until we convert it into a solid. There are different types of models too. There's face models and all kinds of different types of models. So it's pretty complex, but this is the easy way. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So I'm going to go right here. All I did was I went insert mesh, and it's just saying select from my computer. That's where I'm going to get the file from. You can get it from anywhere though if you already have it in your Fusion online stuff here. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to grab the bottom of this this little container deal. And I think the guy that has this on Maker World is Arc 3D Printing. And you can go and download the same exact model. And he's got another one too that he changes the text on. I did a video also like showing you how to add text and stuff to your 3D models in slicers. And of course, I probably should do one how to do it in Fusion 360 because you can do it real easy in Fusion 360 also. Okay, so here we have that STL or the mesh imported into Fusion 360. Now I'm going to just click out of it here for a second. And if we go and look at bodies over here, we see that we have a body, pocket container bottom. That's what I imported it as, the insert. You got to remember, you got to insert mesh. And this tells you, you can do STLs, OBJs, 3MF files. So you can do the regular 3MF file if you want also. But as I brought this in as a mesh, this is what it's telling me right here, that it still is a mesh. And you can do, if you go up here on the top, you have a bunch of choices of how you want your model or your program to work. You got solids, surface, mesh. You got all kinds of different control apparatuses that you can add or change. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to create this to a solid. And I do parts, all kinds of different parts for engineering and stuff. But for this, I just want to show you guys how to do it real simple, because if a lot of people that 3D print, they kind of just want to, do something. They don't really want to be a CAD draftsman or, an engineer or something like that. They just want to figure out how to change their 3D models. So with it selected, pocket container, and it's blue, you can see it selected. I'm going to go up here to modify. Now I am in the mesh setting, so I'm going to go modify, and then I'm going to go convert mesh. And if you read that sign there, what it's going to do is it's actually going to convert it to a solid. So I'm going to click on there because I had it selected. And when I go over here and click on, it's going to ask me how do I want to convert this. So on the right side here, I'm going to select the body, which is the body right here. Now, sometimes you do have to click to show more stuff, or you have to change the, so you can see it with the eyeball deal there. Okay, so it's asking me select the body. So I'm going to select that body. Now it turns blue over here on the right and says one selected. And then how do you want the operation to work? Parametric, and that's what this square right here is, faceted, okay? But you can change this right here. Yes, in the free version, yeah, you can go base feature, but leave it on parametric, and it tells you here you can't change that in the free version. So we're going to leave it right there, and that's the faceted, and we're just going to hit OK. Okay. Now it turned gray on us. We see these weird triangle faces. Look at all these faceted here. And if we look over here under our bodies, now we no longer have the mesh model. We have a solid model. Okay? So what I would like to do too, because we're not going to really get involved too much more in what mesh does, is I'm going to go ahead and click up here on solid, because now I'm trying to change a solid body. Okay, so let's just do a little cleanup. Now, if you do have the paid version, you can use Paintbrush and a whole bunch of other stuff to clean these files up, but you can still do it with the free version too. So I want to clean, and you don't even have to do this. I like to do it because that way it's just less hassle. So to clean these up, I'm just going to click on one triangle on this side, and I'm going to click on one triangle on the bottom. And when it's doing that, like watch this face over here. I have two triangles on this face. If I just left click on one and hit delete, it's going to automatically clean that whole face up for me. Same way with this inside wall right here. I'm going to click on that one right there, and it's going to clean that whole face up for me. Now, to orbit in Fusion 360, you hold the shift in first before you push anything, and then click your middle mouse button, hold it in, and then you can orbit around with it. If you want to drag, you just can do that with your right, or actually, if you want to drag, you hold shift in. Okay, I use so many programs. If you want to drag, hold your center mouse button in, the same one you used with the shift key to orbit, and then you can drag. So all I'm doing is holding that center mouse button in on my mouse. If I want to go back to orbit, I hold shift in first, then that center mouse button. And the center mouse button I'm talking about on a Logitech mouse is just right behind your scroll wheel. So I want to clean up the bottom here. I just select one of them and hit delete. All right. And I do have a real slow computer going here. It's trying to delete more than once. You can do that if you want to. Like I could just keep selecting them and hit delete. But I kind of don't want you doing that if you don't have to. So I'm going to select one on the bottom here, hit delete. And see how it automatically cleans that up for me? So the bottom's clean. The side I'm looking at, this face is clean. Now these aren't clean. These parts right here. So if I want to clean this right here up, there's certain ways I can do it. Like I can go here. I want to zoom, and my scroll wheel will zoom. So I can go here and I can clean this face up. See how it cleaned up the whole top of it there? That's pretty nice for it to be able to do that. So I'm gonna orbit. I'm gonna hold my left mouse button in, and this computer is running really slow because I have a screen capture going on too. So I'm gonna click on that face, hit delete. Now on this side here, I got more to clean up. I can hit delete. Come on, computer, man. And I really do stress people when you're buying a new computer nowadays. I know it's so easy that they offer the ones so cheap. Don't buy the cheap one because it doesn't have the memory and everything you need. I hate this, but you really do need to probably spend the money and get one with the most memory and the most storage you can get. So on my left, or I'm going to hold my shift, hold my center mouse button in. I'm going to orbit. And I'm going to clean up this side right here too. Okay, as soon as my computer stops here. And yeah, we're having a hard time with memory. Might have to pause this video and let things catch up to each other. All right, yeah, it kind of backed me out to I'm not even looking at here. So let me pause this. Okay, let's see if it'll let me continue here. I had to close some programs that I had running. So I still want to orbit around the model and just see if I got any faces. Yep, I still got faces on this side right here. Click on one of those, hit delete, and you can always go up here too and click on this house right here, and it kind of will set you back to normal again. So, and I think it's the memory in this computer. I kind of don't like the way it orbits, but either way, it's fine. Okay, so here we have this little container that we downloaded from Maker World. And at this point, I really don't know much about it. I mean, it probably says the measurements on there, but what we could do is now this is the bottom part of this little container, and it has a slide top on it. And what happens is when you slide the top on, it has like a lip on the top, and it goes around this rail system on the top of here. So this is not flat. You know, the faces are flat over here, but it's got this rail system on here. And if we just went and scaled this and grabbed the top and drug it, you know, to change the size of it, this rail system up here would grow, and the top would no longer fit on it. Now, if you're not going to want to use the top, and you don't care about how much extra time it's going to waste because it's going to be so beefy in those areas when you 3D print it. That's one thing too. When you go to start changing models, you want to know if it's going to affect what you're doing, and you don't want to add printing time to the model. So in this model, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it wider, you know, this way. And then we're also going to split it and make it taller. So in all essence, you could be doing this three ways. You could be making it wider this way. You could be changing the length of the other side, and then you could be changing your height in Z. So as I look at this model, I'm saying to myself, well, I know I don't want to screw up this, you know, this track mechanism up here, because then the lid's not going to work. Also, when the lid clips over, it's got a little nub on the bottom of it, at the bottom of the lid. When it slides over, one face of the lid is open, and one face of it, one part of the lip is closed, and there's a little notch in the lid, or a little nudge protrusion coming out of it that works in these little gaps right here. So it's kind of hard to see, but these are actually into the, see how they're in? See how we got all of our little facets there too? So we still got a lot of those little facets left. And like I said, you can get rid of them. You can just sit there and delete them just like we did. But the deletions we've made so far are on flat faces. So if you were to delete all of these diamonds or facets, triangles, in this curve, the problem is all this stuff would come out as a square. These are all making that curve. So what you would do if you really had to do something like that is you would just create another part and then just go ahead and extrude it down and cut the main body to match that curve again. Or I will do a video on more complex shapes and stuff. In this video though, I just want to show you how you would size this if you wanted to. So what first thing I need to do is I need to get a measurement on it. Okay, so I'm going to hit I, or if I have something selected up here, well, let's see. I forget how it works exactly. But, all right. So I can just hit I. And I'm in solid modeling. Hit I, and that's going to start my measuring tool for me. Now, if I want to just select the measure tool, I can go to, I think it's inspect over here. Yeah, and then measures the first team, or you can, your hotkey is an I. All right. So I got the measure tool selected. So the first thing I'm going to do is select and you can zoom in too with that scroll wheel. I'm going to select this top face. Then I'm going to orbit, hold my left mouse button, or hold my shift key down, then hold that center mouse button in, and I'm going to orbit around until I get to the bottom. And what's it doing here? It's being kind of crazy on me. Okay, let's try that again, guys. And that you can go over here on this side too and click on the bottom. See now how it shows me in my orientation? That's the bottom right there. So this is the bottom right here. So I'm gonna click on that right there. All right. So that tells me that distance is 14 inches. Okay. Now, when I did import that, or when I inserted that mesh, I could have changed that to millimeters instead of inches, but because you're not going to want to print some. Well, you could, but you're not going to want to print something that's 14 inches. But for now, we've already got this in as 14 inches, so our height is 14 inches. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit clear selections, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this side of the container, and then I'm going to orbit around, and I'm going to click on this side. So that is 40 inches wide. All right. So the next thing I'll want to know, if I zoom out, is I can go ahead and clear these selections over here again. And then I'm going to go ahead and measure how long it is. So I'm going to click on that face. Turns blue. I'm going to hold my shift in, push my center button. I'm going to orbit around, and I'm going to click on this face over here. And that's going to tell me this hole is 70 inches. And if you look right up there, it's also telling me that it's 70 inches right here. Okay. And obviously when I brought it in, I should have clicked on millimeters, because this really, this comes in millimeters, and that would have came in as 70 millimeters by 40 millimeters and 14 millimeters tall. But either way, it doesn't matter. So what I want to do first of all is I'm going to go ahead and clear that, because I can actually hit close here. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on the left side. This should be this side right here should be my left side. I just want that to be straight. Okay, so it's in the wrong angle on the Z, so all I can do is go up here and click on this arrow. And it flips it around for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push the wrong mouse button here. I'm going to orbit that again just to show you something here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the height of it first. And right now it's 14 inches high. From here to there, it's 14 inches. So I'll just add a number to it and make it a different height. But anyways, as I'm looking at this model, and I told you, we're worried about changing this rail on the top, and then we got these two indentations right here on the top also. So just keep in mind that I don't want to screw those up in any way. Okay, so I'm going to hit left again. Then what I want to do, and it's kind of weird how this works, but I'm going to want to create what's called a mid-plane on this one. So I'm going to create a construction plane that's going to allow me to cut. So I'm just going to go up here to construction, and I'm going to create an offset. We could do mid-plane too, either one. Okay, so to do this, we're going to select what we call a mid-plane, and I just want to slice it right across here. And right now, I'm just going to do it in the middle, okay? So I'm going to orbit down right here. Then I'm going to go to my construction plane's up here, and I'm going to click on mid-plane. Now, I don't know. Sometimes I just think the way Fusion works is just different than what my mindset thinks. But anyways, you see these axis planes in the center of this model right here. And at this point, we're not doing an offset or anything. We're doing a mid-plane. You can change some stuff right here too. Mid-plane, offset, plane. So it's kind of nice, even though you click on the one plane up there, you can change it to whatever you want. So we're going to do mid-plane. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to select 2 planes then from the top to the bottom. So here's my top plane. See when that turns light gray? That's going to be my top plane. So I'm going to click on there. Now it turns blue, and it says I got 1 plane selected over here. Now I'm going to click on select plane 2, and I'm going to orbit to the bottom, and I'm just going to click on the bottom. All right. Now what that tells me is, well, it'll put it in the center of it. So I'm just going to see my plane here, how it's come here. So I'm going to hit OK. Now that plane is in the center. Now I could have done an offset plane, and I can move this. You can move these planes wherever you want. You can move them on a face, offset a face. Right now, we have that yellow plane going all the way through that model. And that's exactly where I want to cut that, because I'm not going to affect anything. So to cut it, we're just going to go over here to modify, and we're going to go split face. Now you could go, well actually we want to do split body. Okay, we want to do split body. You could split the face if you wanted to also. We're going to go split body. Now all of a sudden, we're going to go over here. Oh, it's asking us, okay, body to split. We need to highlight it over here. Now it's showing us what we're splitting on. And then it says what's your splitting tool you're going to use. So we hit select over here, and then we're going to click on that plane we just made. Then it automatically did it there. Now we get this magenta looking deal here, and as I scroll up, it shows me that this is split. And the reason also is I can go over here to bodies, and let's see something here. We got to hit OK first for split body. Body to split. We already did that. Yeah. So we should be split. Maybe we didn't do it. All right, let's do that again. So I always highlight it first, and it looks like it doesn't matter. But so I'm going to go split body. So body to split, it's highlighted. So it should say 1 selected, and it does. And the splitting tool is going to be that plane that we're on there. And then we're going to hit OK. All right. I don't know why it didn't. I think it's something to do with the memory in this computer. But now if you look under bodies, we can select the bottom part, and we can select the top part. So that's a pretty easy way to do it. I'm just going to orbit a little bit right now. And so let's say right now we have the top selected. See how it's blue? And I'm just going to go and click on the move icon there. And now we can move that up, or we can program what we want to move it. So say I want to make it 10 inches. I can grab this arrow right here and move it 10 inches. Now see, this is the nice thing about Fusion is I don't have to worry about something on the bed to let it move. So right now I've moved that 7 inches. So I want to move it 10. So I'm going to put 10 there and hit enter. So now I've moved that 10 inches. So our total height is going to end up being 24 inches. At this point, I'm missing some space in there. I'm missing some model in there. So there's a few ways I can do this. The way I usually do it is, because see, I can extrude this face right here. I'm going to zoom in with my scroll wheel. I'm going to click on that face right there, highlights it in blue. Now I'm going to hit the E for extrude. And there's a bunch of ways you can extrude. You can grab this and just pull it into your part. Or you can go over here and go extend type. You can extrude two-sided, but I'm going to go extrude type, and I'm going to say to object. Okay? And now it's wanting me to select the object that I want to extrude it to. So I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to orbit, and the object that I want to extend that to, let me see if I can get it where you can see it grow when I do it. I'm going to do, now, see how this plane is in my way? Because it's wanting me to select that plane, which we actually could do that because that plane is the same place as that top of that model there. I'm going to hide this construction plane over here. So I'm just going to hit that eyeball there and hide that construction plane. Now I can go in here, and that's what I want to extrude it to right there, is that top lip of the model. See where I'm clicking here? So it's turning light gray. Now I'm on the right, I'm on that wall. Now I'm right on that lip where I want to be. And as soon as I click on that, it's going to have both of them highlighted, and it extruded that down to meet that part right there, to meet the other part. And I just hit OK. So now, if I were gonna, now let me go back here. And this is kind of the neat thing about this, is you got this timeline on the bottom here. We can go click on this extrude. We can right click on it. We can hit enter, edit feature. Okay. So now I'm going to do this again. But the main thing I forgot to show you that really is super, super important is you can change all these operations. Right now we have it at join, and that's what we want it to do. We want it to join. But say we wanted to cut a hole in this with a cylinder or a circle or something, we could have it say cut, and then cut it's going to turn red. So we don't want it to cut though. We want it to join. And that's pretty much everything we have to do to change the height of this. Now, if I go, now I'm going to go ahead and push I for my tape measure tool, or like I said, you could go up to inspect. I'm going to click that lip on the top. I'm going to orbit around to the bottom, and I'm going to click on the bottom, and it says the distance is 24 inches, and that's what we said. We were adding 10 inches, and it was started out as 14. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close our measuring tool. Now we're going to say, okay, we've changed the height of this. Let's go ahead and it would be easier to change the length because I don't have anything here like these notches here on this side. So let's just do that real fast. And I don't even know what we're going to set it to, but let's just say, okay, we're going to change this length right here. And that length was 70 inches before. And I'm not even going to like calculate what we're going to change it to. I'm just going to show you how we're going to change it. Okay. So we want to cut straight vertically. Okay. So what we would be thinking in our mind is what two faces on here would allow us to cut through this vertically? Well, it's going to be this back wall and this front wall here. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a construction plane. And we're going to go mid plane. And it's going to ask us, now we could pick down here on these axes, but it's easier. It's asking me, I'm going to do a mid plane. We could change it to whatever type of plane we want to do. If we want to do an offset or something. But I'm going to go ahead, and I know this back wall right here is where I want my plane to end up right here in the middle. So then it automatically went to select the second plane, and I'm just going to orbit around a little bit. Then I'm going to do that right there. See that center plane that it made there? That's the plane that I'm going to use to cut this in half now. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK here. And as I do that, I'm going to go up to here and I'm going to say, okay, I like to select the part first. And I don't know if it even matters sometimes, but I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go, we're going to split body again. Okay, so now it comes up and it says split body. All right, so it wants me to select the body because it's blue and it's not selected yet. So I'm just going to go there and select it right there. Now it's going to allow me to select the splitting tool, which is just the plane we're going to use. So it's kind of hard to see right there, but I know where it's at. So as soon as I move my mouse on it, I can do that. Now see how it has the red cut there? And I'm just going to hit OK. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and hide that plane. But let me orbit just to show you where that plane was. And it doesn't matter that that plane isn't big enough to go all the way outside of this model. It just wanted to know that plane to cut on. So now I have two parts of this model. I have the left side here and I have the right side here. And I'm still got that plane showing, and I want to hide that because they just kind of get in your way. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that plane. Well, actually, I showed the other plane. So I'm going to hide it there, hide them both. I got two parts here that are cut. Now, this part has a lot of features on it. But if we select over here, it'll select the whole part. So we said we wanted to make that longer. It's 70 inches long right now. I'm just going to hit the, I got the left side selected, pocket container bottom. So that top one, I just clicked on it. Then I'm going to go move. All right. And now it's going to let me move it. I'm just going to move it to the left. And it'll be this arrow right here. Actually, be the square right here. And I can move that. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's allowing me to move. And that's just because of the way I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to get on the side here, which would be our front. So now I'm on the front here. I'm going to select that again. I'm going to go move. And now see how I only have one arrow going left and one arrow going right? That's what you want. You don't want to freestyle this stuff because you're going to screw up where it ends up at. So I want to take this arrow right here. Okay, so sometimes I don't think it likes when you pre-select what you're trying to do. So we're just going to hit move up here. We're going to move this left side. So we clicked on move. Now it says, what do you want to move up here? See where it says move object? We got body selected, but you could do face or sketch objects. So we got body selected, and we're going to want to select that one right here. Now we got the left side selected. Now, because that's dark blue and it's showing that we have one selected, now we could just take this arrow right here and we could just move this however far we want to move it. See how it's going -2 in this direction? So let's say, now I could stop right here and I could just put 10 in. I could backspace and put 10 point there. That's going to be 10 inches. So when I hit enter, it's going to move that. which is kind of cool because what it did, it automatically joined that part for us. You see that right there? Let's figure out, did it really do that? Let's see. So I'm going to hit I again. I'm going to grab my tape measure tool. I'm going to hit this face right there. I'm going to shift and pivot. Man, that went around fast. Let's see what this measures. No, that didn't, because if we would have went 10, that would have been 80, and that says it's only 60. So let's hit undo and see what that did there. Let's watch it and see. Let's see. I'm just gonna orbit around here. Now we're on the back. Now it doesn't really matter which side we're gonna be on. We'll flip it over here. And let's see how many, if we select that, yeah, see it did join that with that one, because there's the left side, and it still has that center piece there. So let's just hit undo. All right, this is where we just started out before we did that move feature here. And let's see something again. I want to measure this again. So I'm going to hit I. I'm going to hit this face right here. I'm going to orbit around. Hit this face. Yeah, we're still on 70. So it hasn't moved it yet. We're back to where we started. We've got it cut in half, but it hasn't moved it yet. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're not selecting anything. We're just going to hit move. Okay. And it says we're on body. So I want to select the body that we're going to move. And it's going to be the other side. So it's going to be the bottom. And I'm going to unselect this one because we're only moving one. Okay, I got to clear this up here because we have the both selected and we just want this side selected right here. We're going to move this one right here. So we have bodies and we have it selected. It says it's selected. So we can just grab this arrow right here. And as we make our move, we're going to add 10 inches to there. And it automatically did that. See, but like I said, I can move this with that arrow, or I can manually do that also. I could just type in 10. Okay, so that's where I wanted to move that to, because we're making it 10 inches longer. All right, so now I want to extrude that side. I want to fill this gap back up. So to do that, I'm just going to orbit over so I can get to this face right here. And this is the face right here. See how it's selected now in blue? I'm going to zoom out, turning my mouse scroll wheel. Then I'm going to go, and either way, I could pull that. I could type E because I want to extrude that back in there. I could just pull that if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that. And you probably shouldn't get used to doing that because a lot of times you want to go to the other face. So new body is selected. That's what we did wrong last time too. We had new body selected. That's why it made that new centerpiece. But we want to join these two bodies, so we need to put join right there. Okay. And why did that disappear? Huh. I don't know. I think our computer's having a little hard problem here. I'm going to select that face again. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to grab this face. I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to hit E. Now see, it let me pre-select that face this time. I'm going to go, oh, that's what it's going to do. It's going to make me do it again probably. So if I go join, nope, it's good to go. And the direction is one-sided. We could do two-sided, but the distance, I could type in 10 right there for the distance, but I want to go, and I want you to get used to doing this. I want to go to object. And the reason you want to do that is because it kind of automatically fixes some things for you. So the object that I want to go to is, of course, the exact same other face right here. And then it automatically joins it for us. So now we're back to one part, but we're longer now. Okay, so if I hit I for tape measure, if we measure from this face, and then I'm going to orbit to the other side. If we measure to this side, we should be 80 now. And there we are. We're 80 inches now. Okay, so I'm going to close the tape measure. Then, sorry this video is kind of long too, but you really need to know this stuff. And sorry that this computer is so slow. But anyways, now what we want to do is I want to make it wider from the left or right side. This is front or back, the long side. And we're going to go grab the left here. So this is our left side. And now what I want to do is I want to, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I want to take it and I want to split it, and then I want to make each side longer. So we're going to end up with splitting two of these. Now you might figure out better ways to do this kind of stuff, but I don't want to mess with these indentations right here. So you can really see it clarifies itself in the back, how it's indented into that model. I don't want to mess with that. So what I want to do is I want to create a construction plane. I'm going to have to do 2 of them to where I make my cut, right? So we're going to go here. We're going to go, what kind of plane. It really didn't really matter what kind of plane that we wanted to select. We're just going to hit midplane. And when I do that, midplane is going to create a plane straight across here, right in the center. And I think we can do an offset too. So let's see. Let's go ahead and let's try this first. So I'm going to click this wall on the inside. Then I'm going to scroll around. I can't remember if it's midplane's going to allow us to do our offset. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay. And it's not going to let us do it. Okay. So let's clear out of that one. Let's go back and grab what we call a an offset. And I use so many of these different programs that sometimes I get delirious about which one I'm going to use. So I'm going to go offset plane. Okay. So what it's going to do with the offset is we're going to grab this center one now. We're going to use some different axis to do this, okay? So right now, it put this axis right here. This one's on the bottom. This one's, X, Y, or either one. Could be either one right here. But if we go look at this, this is the vertical plane that we're going to want to use to offset off from, okay? So right now, it's saying select your plane. So I'm going to select this plane right here. All right. Now it's got that arrow pointing to the left, but I want to go the other direction. I want to offset. Right now it's going right through this indentation in there. So I want to go negative. Let's go negative. Let's see. How wide is that thing? 40. Let's go negative 10. Okay. So now it moved that plane negative 10. If we orbit around, now it was real close about how far I went because I don't want to go into this curve as I cut this model front to back, which that's going to be just fine. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to cut that model on that plane. So we're going to go not split faces. We're going to go split body. So we're going to go right here. It's going to ask us the body we want to split. See up here where it says body to split? We're going to select that. It's going to be this body. Now it's going to want us to split, choose our splitting tool. And it's going to be that plane that we offset in there. So let me mouse over it. And I can't select it there. So now I'm going to go a different way to mouse over that. Can I select it from this side? Nope, I can't. But sometimes you can grab it from the bottom. Nope, can't grab it from the bottom. So I might have to come into the model to get it. And all I'm doing is just zooming into it. And eventually, well, what I can do too is, let's go ahead and let's see if it'll let us select in the wrong order. Yeah, see, it will let us do that. So that's not in the way. So I'm going to select that. Then I'm selecting the cutting plane. Now I'm going to select which body. And if I hover over this thing, let's see here. Let's select that body. Let's see if that's the right, not selecting bodies. It's going to be this body right here. So then that shows, sorry I'm doing this a little different, but you're going to learn something from, if you watch this video again, by what I just did. I couldn't see my plane to select, so I selected my splitting tool before I selected my body. Because once you select the body, sometimes it's hard to get into it to grab that plane, unless you go from underneath or something. So see, that's where I'm going to cut this right here, which is perfect. I'm not into my, if we want to talk about the curve, I don't want to be into that curve, and I don't want to be in that little indentation pocket on the front or the back. So let's go right there. Let's go we're going to go ahead and split body. Well, we've already done that over here, so we can just go ahead and hit OK. Sorry about that. I kind of misled you. You just need to hit OK there. So anyways, now if we look at this, we have a right side and we have a left side. Okay, that's awesome. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to make this bigger. Okay, I want to move this side over here out of the way. I don't want to move them. Well, I need to move both of these sides the same way, the same exact amount of distance, because if I were to move, like if I were to cut, now I've cut this side, so these are two bodies. I'm going to pull this side out to the right. The exact amount that I'm going to do the same to the left side. That way this indentation always stays centered front to back. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up and I'm going to grab the move. I'm going to click out everything. I'm going to grab move. Then what do I want to move? I want to move that side right there. So I'm selecting that body. Then I'm going to grab this arrow right here and I'm just going to move that. How far do I want to move it? Let's do it 10 inches again. So I moved it 10 inches right there. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I could split this body right now again if I wanted to, or I could just extrude this back. Also, you can use the same plane that you use, like I offset that plane 10 inches. This one right here. So if I want to split this body right here, I can grab this body and I can go offset plane because I want to split this over here. I moved it 10 inches from here to here on this side, so it's 10 inches from the center where it's split on the right side. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do offset plane. And I'm going to offset from this plane right there. I'm going to reuse that plane again. So if I went 10, now I'm going to need to go 20 to get to the exact same spot on both sides. And I'm just showing you guys how to do something differently. You can do it exactly how we did the first side. But right there, now we're offset 20 inches from the 10-inch offset, which is like, well, Rick, what do you mean here? Well, let's look at it. So this plane right here, that is kind of hard to see right here, this little one, we offset that 10 inches from the center, -10, to where we cut this part right here. 10 inches from the center to the right. Now, I just got lazy and I didn't want to create another... well, I could have done it the same way. All I did is I offset another plane from that first plane that I had. And you could have just put another mid plane in, or offset plane, the same way we did to begin with. So run the video back. But you'll get used, because you'll do this a lot with your planes. The planes are what gives you the ability to cut anywhere in space that you want to. So now I want to cut this model on this new plane here. So I want to let's go modify, and then let's say split body, and the body we want to split is this one right here. So let's see, not that one, be this one. So I got to get that unselected. To unselect it, we're going to click right there. I'm going to click on the bottom over here on the left side. And now it shows I have one body, body to split. I have one selected, and the splitting tool is going to be, I'm going to click on this. Now, remember how we said we don't want to select the body first? Now this time it's letting us grab that plane. But the other time it wasn't letting us grab that plane. But either way, if it won't let you, then just delete that body selection, go here, grab that plane, go back, select that body, and it's the bottom one over here, and it automatically put our cut area in for us. So we're going to split the body by hitting OK. Now we got 3 bodies. See over here, we got 3 bodies. So now we're going to take, I don't remember. What did I move that one? 20? I don't even remember. So that's the middle body is the one we're going to want to, or actually, let's see. That body right here is the one we're going to want to move out. And I think I moved it 10 inches. I'm going to hit the move right here. And somebody's got to write this stuff down. But we'll take a look here. I think I moved it 10 inches on the other side. Okay, so there we go. Then I'm just going to hit OK over here. So now we have our model split in three bodies, and we have 10 inches between all these. So now we need to just go and extrude these sides. So I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to zoom in on my scroll wheel. So now I have that lip selected. So now I'm going to hit E for extrude, or you could go up here. I think it's in modify. Where's extrude at? Well, it's right here too. Oh, that's press and pull. I think it's on this. I think it's the same. But let's see where. Yeah, I don't see it here. I always just push E. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I do this every day, so, but I don't always use Fusion 360. So I'm going to push E. Now it's going to let me, remember how we want to do that over here? We want to extrude to the other object. So I've got my side, or my face that I want to extrude. I clicked in here, extrude to object. Now I'm going to go grab this face right here, and that's where it's going to extrude that right side from to. Okay. Oh, and very important too, and Guy, I forget this a lot on this program. We had join selected, and that's what we wanted. Now it's good. Once I hit OK, now we're going to be down to 2 bodies. Okay. So we got the left side and the right side, and then we just need to finish joining our body back up here. And I'm going to just zoom in here. I'm going to grab on this face right here. I'm going to hit E. And I wonder if, I think push and pull is the same on this thing. Let's see what it says. Nope, push and pull is different on here. Okay. So I wonder where E is at. I'm going to, where is extrude at, guys? This is about the time I should tell you I'm really smart. Okay. So extrude is over here under create, which kind of makes sense because when you do extrude something right here, it is over here under create. And I've always just hit the E key because it actually kind of makes sense. Where the measure tool, you hit the I, which for me, I guess you kind of inspect, because measure tools are in inspect when you want to use the tape measure. So, but a lot of programs that I use, you just hit M for measure. But so anyways, back to what I was talking about here. So I want to extrude this part, and I could extrude from right to left or this way too. So I'm gonna click on my face that I want to extrude, and I'm gonna hit extrude, or I can go over here and hit E now that I've found it. Oh, some days. All right, now I'm gonna orbit back, because when I do this, let's see, I am not in extrude, or the computer's just taking a while. Let's see. I'm going to hit E again. There we go. Okay. So we're in extrude. We have the first face selected. Now I want to go to object, and then I'm going to want to select the object. So it says select the object. And that's going to be this face right here to close it back up. And it's going to highlight like light gray. There it goes. and we got it unjoined, which we got to have it on. And I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to hit OK. Now we're back to one part, and we've fully sized it, and it's exactly what we want. Now we could have borrowed that from anybody, and we haven't changed. We haven't changed it, even though we've made it longer, made it wider, made it taller. We didn't change the apparatus of how the mechanism works, and that's one thing oh man, you know, that's why too. When you start learning these CAD programs, everything is accredited to what you did before. So if you sit there and you tell the program, so the weird thing about these CAD programs is that everything can be driven or constrained by measurements. So you have this timeline on the bottom here, and I'll go more through designing so you can really get the hang of this. But so if we change this box a lot, we could set it up with measurements, and we could say, okay, when we make this box, when we make it 80 inches tall or 30 millimeters, whatever we're doing, it'll automatically do exactly what we did to the other side, or vice versa. We can say to increase by 10 millimeters all sides, which is kind of the neat thing, that these programs, maybe I'll take a little minute here and show you what I'm talking about. But on this situation right here, if we wanted to make pictures of this or something, and Fusion 360 can send you pictures from here, but we can just go over here and get rid of our construction planes. You can see them right there. So we can turn that eyeball deal off there. And there's our model right there. So if we want to 3D print this now I don't want to even move it to my system because this file's way bigger than, this thing was really 14 millimeters tall, and now we have it 14 inches tall or 20 inches tall or whatever we ended up with. I think we ended up with 24 inches tall. So this is a pretty big model right now. But to 3D print this, I always like select it first. So the whole model is selected, and then I would just go up here to File, and I would just hit 3D print. And when on the right, this box comes over here, and you do have some settings you could change. Now we could change this to millimeters, and that's what we would bring it into. Well, let's do that. Well, yeah, let's do that. So we got it on millimeters right now, and we got this body selected. We're gonna hit OK. It's gonna be pocket container, and I'm just gonna put sized right here. 24 millimeters. And this is for nothing. I just want to do this so we see. And all right, where do we want to send this to? Somewhere here it's going to give us a, well, here's where I'm putting these parts. So it's going to save it to my computer. All right, so let's hit save. All right, then I'm going to make this smaller. Then I'm going to go back to, I think I got Orca. Let's see something here. Let's, in Orca, let me bring this over so you guys can see what's going on here. Let's see here. All right, let me grab this and bring it. I just want you to be able to see everything I'm pushing here. So I'm just going to go new. I don't care about what this is right here. What do you want to save any of that? Nope, don't want to save anything. So I go new right here, and then I'm going to add that model. So I'm going to go over here and push that square. And let's see, where the heck did we put that? what did I put? I put sized on I put sized on the end of it, right? Yeah. So let's go back. Gosh dang it. Okay, so I'm sitting here looking at this thing. It's right here. So I'm gonna double click on that. As an error code, what's the error code say? An object is laid over the plate boundaries or exceeds the height limit. So it did bring it in as being huge there, didn't it? Let's see. Yeah, see, it brought it in as 2082 millimeters. I'll be darned. All right. Well, let's go. Let me go change that real quick. Okay. Well, that just goes to show that don't do don't bring anything that big into your slicer, but all you do to grab that, to bring it in, you go pocket container bottom, and this is the same one I started out with, and then we could just go here and print that. Now this is the part before we made it bigger, but everything's going to be the same, and you can go watch a video on how I showed you how to size it in Orca, which is a SnapMaker Orca, but all the programs are all the same because they all started like when I was young. Slick 3D was the starter of all this Prusa, Orca, Bamboo. They've all just kind of robbed the program and then claimed it for themselves, which is kind of funny because sooner or later, no, I've paid, and I don't mind paying for simplified 3D. I kind of like it actually as a slicer, but it does cost. Not a lot, but these people would steal this thing and then charge you like they made it, which is, I don't know, that's what's wrong with the world now. I mean, you buy a new John Deere tractor and you can't fix it, you know? You buy these, well, I don't even want to get into this thing with you guys, but anyways, let's go back to Fusion 360 now that you know how to bring it into Orca or Prusa or whatever slicer you're using. Let's go back to Fusion 360, and I want to show you what I mean about driven and constraints and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we're on a new page in Fusion 360, and to start any type of work, you're going to have to create a sketch to begin with, and then you're going to have to pick a plane to sketch on. Kind of really doesn't matter, but I think if you go over here to top, then you can just click right on there, and then you know you got your X, Y, or your X and Y, and then we should be on the Z plane right now, on the floor of the Z plane. So when we finish the sketch, we'll go over here and click Finish Sketch, and this is where we start drawing. So if we want to draw a circle, we can just draw a circle anywhere. Okay, and right now, when I click one, well, let me undo this again. All right, so I'm going to click up here on circle. I think a 2-point circle selected. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to move it, and I can type in whatever size I want the circle to be, or I can just move my mouse for whatever. So right now, I got it 1.6 inches, okay? And I need to exit to get it out of that tool. And when we dimension something, see how this is blue right now? When I'm not touching it, it's blue. That means I can grab this and I can make it smaller or bigger. Okay? I can also hit M, and then I can move it. Move it up or down. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I haven't constrained it to anything yet, and I haven't dimensioned it to anything yet. So that's what I was saying. If you set up a square, and let's grab a square over here, and we're going to draw a square. Okay, so if we take this square and we we say we make it 2 inches. So I'm going to put 2 there. Then I'm going to hit tab because now I'm going to go over to this other one here. Now, if I want to, say, if I change that 2-inch part, I want to change this right here. So I'm going to go, okay, so back in Fusion, more of the engineering type of the drawing, and how I was talking about driven and stuff like that, is we got a square right here. And this square has measurements on it. It's 1 inch tall, 4 inches wide. But the neat thing, and like I said, if you were sizing that cube all the time, you could just, fix it so it kind of would do it automatically for you as you change measurements. Like if I hover over this measurement right here, it's telling me that this is D3 on the dimension. If I hover over this one over here, this one is, I think that was D4. Yep, so D4 is 1 inch. That's what it says right here. Over here, when I typed it in, I put D3, or I put 3 inches, so I put 3 period, and then I put the plus sign D4. So let's say, let me draw another square. So anyways, what I'm getting at is if we go and we change this to 2, this measurement over here is automatically going to change because it's going to be 3 inches plus a D4, which is okay. So that would make this 5 over here because it's going to be 3 plus 2, which is going to be 5. So this is 4 right now. If we go here and we change this to 2, then that changed to 5 over here because that's the driven perimeter of this square right here in this measurement. Now, it just gets weird, and you need to, figure out what constraints mean and all this kind of stuff. There's so much to learn. I know some of you just wanted to learn what I just showed you, which is fine. But if we wanted to move this circle right here, we could push on this point right here to move it. And this thing is always coincident of this point right here because it's a center circle. So if I went here and clicked on this blue, it would just make this circle smaller or larger from this center point right here. And it's blue, and I'm able to move it because it's not constrained. If I were to type in D and I took a measurement from here, let's see, let's go from this, let's go from here. Well, it's not going to let me select on the, let's see here. We're going to select from here. Why does it not let me select that? Okay, so man, this computer's having a hard time. Anyways, what I was saying is, in a drawing, in a sketch, we need to constrain or dimension all of our parts to have it work on that timeline together with everything. So if we, I'm going to make this horizontal here, and I'm going to make this 1 inch. Okay, hit enter. So that's a 1 inch circle. So now this is blue. So I can move this circle wherever I want by moving it from the center point. Or I could make it bigger or smaller by moving it from the outside. Let's see here. Yeah, the memory on this computer is just going haywire. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, if I wanted to make this circle bigger or smaller, I could double click on that measurement right there. Well, let me see here. I think I can just click on it. If I hit enter, go grab this measurement right here. And I want to actually click on the measurement. Because see, right now it's telling it that it's a 1 inch circle. And I want to take that off there. See, now I just have this circle. and nothing's dimensioning it, and nothing's constraining it. Constraining means if, like, see these squares down here? This is parallelism with the it'll tell you what it is if you click on it. So that's our horizontal constraint. Then these will be our vertical constraints over there. So no matter, but I have this sized right now. So I can move this, like, let me grab that and move it. See, I can move this square, but I can't resize it unless I type in one of these, double click on it. And so this one now I could put 6 there. 6 plus D4. Then that's going to size it like that. Everything is driven off this timeline down here in the bottom.